Hey guys, so what we're going to be doing is going over part one of the homework that is assigned for this week. Essentially, I want to teach you guys how to upload points to a file in AutoCAD Civil 3D and also plot those points, annotate them, and map them out like in a drawing that you would give to someone if you're working on a project. So what we first need to have you guys do is download from Colab in assignment 1 this text file over here that you see. It is a text file that contains a whole bunch of points, and if you want to actually look at it, you can see in here that there's just a whole bunch of information, and not all of that means anything to us, or at least not yet. So when you download this file, make sure you know where it is, and what we're going to do is we're going to upload that file into Civil 3D. So what we're going to do is we want to insert in the top left up here, and we want to insert points from a file. So now this pop-up comes up and it's asking us where our file is. So we go and we find where our file is and select it, and we open it. Right now you can see our points are coming up, but what we want to do for this specific file is open it up in a format called PENZ, delineated. So here we are. Now we have all of those points listed. You can see we have our point number, our easting, our northing, and our point elevation. So what we want to do now is hit OK, and our points are uploaded into Civil 3D. Now what we can't do is see them right away. They're in our workspace, but we just can't see them yet. So what we need to do is we need to zoom in. So what we're going to do is go down to this command bar on the bottom and just type in Z, and what that's going to do is give us a whole bunch of options for what we can do in Civil 3D with commands that start with Z. What we need to do is go to Zoom. You can click on Zoom, and this gives us a whole bunch of other options. So you could see zoom into all, to the center, all of these different options. But what we want to do now is we want to zoom into the extent of our work. You can see extents over here, and E is the command. So what we want to do is type in E and hit Enter. All right. So now all of our points are pulled up, and you can move your drawing space around by clicking down the scroll button on your mouse. So you're hitting down scroll. So now we have all of our points on our display. So what we want to do next, when we have a project, we need to let people know what's actually going on sometimes. So we need to add an annotation. So what you want to do is go up to the top left again to your toolbar up here and go to Annotate. And you want to annotate multi-line text. So you're going to click right here. And what that's going to allow you to do is essentially draw a text box in your space. So you have to specify a first corner. I'm going to choose right here. I'm going to draw this space and do my bottom corner down there. And now I can type. So here you can post comments, questions, and concerns. So I'll even type that out. Can post comments, questions, or concerns about your drawing. And what this essentially allows you to do is let people know what might be going on in a drawing, or you can point out what specific objects in the drawing are. Let's say you have a couple of different pieces in your drawing and you need to label like top view and side view and things like that. So this lets you do that. So I'm going to hit escape, and do I want to save my text changes? Yes, I do. But you can see now they're super small. That doesn't do much for us. So we can scale them. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. What I've done is I've actually selected them down there, and I'm going to pull down this arrow that essentially lets me change the size of the text box I want. So I'm essentially just changing how large I want this to go. And now I can type in scale. And I can specify a base point, and you see how it already popped to like the size I chose before. But this essentially lets you scale what your text looks like in there. So now I'm pulling it out, and that looks about big enough. It's kind of going over our points right now. So you can select it, and then you can just drag it by clicking on it. And I'm going to put it right there. So now what we have to do after that is we want to plot all of this information on a sheet that we can distribute to other people. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go down to our model, which is right down here. So our model, this is our tool space. So we want to go to our model and right click and select from template. So what we're going to do is choose our map book template. For this project and for pretty much all of the ones in the future, we're going to be using 11 by 17, which is right over here. And it says ANSI B. That's just the layout name. So we're going to hit OK. Alright, and as you can see back down here in the bottom left corner, you can see the ANSI B. So now that you have your workspace or your map up, we need to put in all of those points in the space. So what we're going to do is we're going to go inside this space that we see here, where our drawing space, and double click. This allows us to edit in this space. So what we're going to do is the same thing that we did before. We need to zoom into the extents of what our points are. So we're going to hit Z and zoom, so enter, and then E and enter. And now it pulled up the extents of my drawing. Now you can tell that all of this is rather really tight fitting, so if you want you can kind of zoom out a little bit using your scroller. I'm going to keep it right where it is for now. So now we can see all of our points. Alright, so the next step that we need to go over is plotting your file here, your map, to a PDF so that you can distribute it. For this instance, you're going to need to do that so you can turn in the assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this and delete this to kind of clean it up a little bit. But what you want to do is go down here to the file name and double click. Alright, and what you're going to do is you're going to change this to your full name. Alright, and hit apply and OK. So you can see down here that changed. That's where your name is going to go. And what we need to do next is we need to plot this on the PDF now with your name on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the command line and hit plot. So you see that comes up as plot, and I'm going to hit enter. And what you need to do here is you need to select a AutoCAD PDF. You could do general documentation. Okay, and you're going to hit OK, and you're going to choose where you want this to go. So I'm going to put it in that same folder that I had before. And what you want to do here is your last name, your first name, and assignment 1. Alright, and it's going to plot, and there it is. So that is a guide to the first part of the homework, and I hope this helped.